The gentleman from Florida is recognized for 5 minutes.
I ask unanimous consent to speak out of order.
Without objection.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, it is with great pride that I introduce legislation today to award the Congressional Gold Medal to 4 brave, exemplary Americans: Commander Neil Armstrong, Commander Module Pilot Michael Collins, and Lunar Module Pilot Edwin Buzz Aldrin, the crew of the 1969 Apollo 11 mission to the moon. Additionally, this legislation would award a Congressional Gold Medal to John Glenn, the first American to orbit the Earth, and the man who helped set NASA firmly on the path of human space exploration. 40 years ago, 500 million people watched as Armstrong took those fateful steps on the moon's surface, the first time that humans had ever set foot on another world. In words that were as poetic as the occasion was meaningful, Armstrong said, "That's one small step for man and one great leap for mankind." He was shortly followed thereafter on the moon's surface by Aldrin as Collins circled overhead. I was 11 years old that day, and I watched the moon landing, joining much of humanity in celebrating this tremendous collective accomplishment. My family was on vacation, but I had persuaded my parents to let me stay in the hotel room alone all day and watch television so that I could see these giant men take those giant steps. Their mission was a landmark for America, for the world, and for all time. Americans are still inspired by these men and their mission to travel over 250,000 miles of dead space to reach our closest celestial neighbor. I remember at the time thinking that humankind as a species is capable of true greatness. And while wolves howl at the moon, humans visit it. On this journey, the Apollo 11 crew showed remarkable bravery, protected for days from the lifeless vacuum by only a thin metal shell. They collected more than 40 pounds of lunar samples, took photographs, and deployed experiments to study the solar wind, lunar dust, enabling laser ranging, and forever carrying out passive seismic measurements that remain measurable to this day. Their footprints remain on the moon today and forever. The entire endeavor was a culmination of an intensive effort by tens of thousands of scientists, engineers, and other dedicated individuals to meet the challenge laid down by President John F. Kennedy 8 years earlier. President Kennedy encouraged Americans to rise to challenges like this one, and the American people responded with ingenuity, discipline, and a spirit of collective effort. This journey took political will, scientific and technological risk-taking, inspiration, and the heart and soul of millions of Americans who supported the space program. And it took the competence and courage of these men, Armstrong, Aldrin, and Collins, to make Apollo 11 the success that it was. As the culmination of the U.S.-Soviet space race that commenced with the Soviets launching of Sputnik in 1957, Apollo 11's success signified the United States' ability to establish preeminence in space. It also helped to inspire a generation to pursue careers in science and engineering and to believe in the power of American society and American culture. Alone in that hotel room watching TV, I certainly felt a lasting sense of meaning, that connection to those 3 brave astronauts. These astronauts represented in that moment America's destiny, a destiny shared by the thousands of men and women who worked to make it happen. This includes John Glenn, of course, another brave pioneer of human space exploration who had made their journey possible. Mr. Speaker, I just think it's fitting that on this 40th anniversary year of the Apollo 11 mission, we grant these 4 brave Americans the recognition only this Congress can bestow, the Congressional Gold Medal. That's why I'm introducing legislation to that effect today. I'm pleased to have been joined in this initiative by the Chairman of the House Science and Technology Committee, Bart Gordon, the Chairwoman of the Space and Aeronautics Subcommittee, Gabrielle Giffords, Committee Ranking Member Ralph Hall, Subcommittee Ranking Member Pete Olson, and Florida members Suzanne Cosmas and Bill Posey. I believe this recognition is long overdue, and I urge my colleagues to support this legislation so that it can be enacted into law. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I yield back the remainder of my time.